wanna know what goes on backstage? Oh, come on. Let me take you by the hand. Ow!
Rudy, are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen,
The way I see it, Barry, this should be a very dynamite show.
You know, I have no idea what the name of this program is, but you're watching it.
Backstage,
All you ever want,
backstage,
all you ever need.
backstage.
Your dreams will be fulfilled once you are there. You'll never wanna leave. You wanna sell your ass for that backstage pass. Backstage is just for the invited. Backstage, they've laid on everything.
Hi. Yeah, it's not in tune. That's what I wanted to do last Sunday, which to play a little bit guitar, because when I introduced the guitar, people said, you have to play, you have to play. Well, probably next Sunday. And it's also that what I also wanted to do. Well, welcome. This is something new. I call it Backstage Resume. And the Backstage Resume is usually 1 or 2 days after the Rudy Backstage program. And we are a little bit thinking of how was it, and is there anything that I forgot or that I want to add. Well, what I also wanted to do is I wanted to talk, well, first of all, isn't that a nice t-shirt? Don't panic, it's organic. This is the scarf that I have in one of my last posts. And what you can maybe see is that there is, of course, a fitting pair of shoes, because, as you know, Rudy always tries to be cool. I mean, apropos shoes, these are the shoes which I was wearing for the Grammy celebration when Freddie Mercury Untold Story was nominated. Cool, huh? Anyway, hi, darlings. What we are going to do here is, on the one hand, the signing for the winner of last week, but the name is still missing. Then we have the drawing of the many correct answers for this week's, where you win this. And then we will have a thank you to the fans. If you're watching or saw my post today, or on Monday, if you watch it later, then you saw that I was trying to thank all the countries. That's what I'm gonna do, and then I have a few surprises, okay, including stories on Mick Jagger and Sting. This is our first Backstage Resume for Rudy Backstage number 8. That was the one which we had on last Sunday. So now I'm going to sign for this, which is the person Lizzie Tuttle. I hope I pronounced it correctly. So I'm going to do this. Lizzie Tuttle. And maybe we do this, and maybe we do this. So it's a little bit more artistic. So, dear Lizzie Tuttle, this is now yours. You are the winner of the really, really difficult question, who is the deep voice in the Backstage song? That, of course, you also hear at the beginning of our Backstage Resume. You will get this soon as an email up front. And, of course, you will get the original. But please give me a little bit of time, because in the moment I'm not going out to a post office because of the Corona situation. Now, be excited, because this is now yours, okay? And now it's getting even more exciting, I think, because you wouldn't believe. Last week's trivia, which was the question, who is the boy who is now a man, from the Miracle video. Here he is. That was him a few years ago. And what's the name of his girlfriend? And you wouldn't believe. You hear it? 202 correct answers. Again, 202 correct answers. Oh my God, And now somebody in here of the 202 will be the owner of this picture, which again I will sign and dedicate. So it becomes a one-off memorabilia, but there's just one in the world. And I think that's quite a nice idea. Yeah, here you have the young Brian. Actually, this guy also contacted me. The young Roger Taylor. He's of course also Adam is his name, as far as I remember. So if you're watching, hi. So now comes the big moment. And traditionally, da 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 da. Okay, darlings. All the people who had the correct answer, which I said on Sunday, are now and watching this could be nervous. I'm nervous. Who is it? Oh my God. I have to think, if there's so many correct ones, maybe in the future I have more than one prize. But I mean, I don't know how many good prizes I can think of and give away. So here we go. The tension is rising. And here is the winner. Here, I'm not watching. The winner is Mike L. Johnson. Mike L. Johnson, who is, if I remember correctly, because I know most of the people, a German who now lives in the United States. You are the winner. You are excited because this is now yours. This is now yours. A one-off photograph of the Miracle Shoot, the famous music video by the young boys, most of the time performing the song brilliantly, and Queen only comes in at the end. I had the privilege of directing and producing this. Congratulations, congratulations. Please contact me and tell me what you want me to, that I write on as part of the dedication. So, well, I have to say thank you. I mean, I think the Sunday, a lot of people were writing to me. A lot of people, Paul, I have to shut you off because I have to look. A lot of people were writing to me about that they liked it. So I had very positive reactions. I think we are on a good path. I think this new format and this new concept is going to work out. Don't forget, you are part of history that's been made, because this will evolve eventually. To a television program, and you are there when we are sort of trying it out. So, okay, I am trying to get to my post today. I'm sorry, darlings. Here we are. I had reactions from the USA, Canada, Brazil, Argentina, Peru, Paraguay, Mexico, Kenya, Morocco, Australia, Japan, the UK, back into Europe in Italy, France, Czech Republic, Germany, Switzerland, Belgium, Portugal, Spain, Greece, Poland, Russia, and my home country, Austria. And I probably have forgotten a few. but sort of that was everybody from those countries wrote to me. Either it was hundreds of emails, and you hear me, Paul? Hundreds of emails and of posts and what have you. And sorry, we have now lost connection. Give me a moment. This is also the first one. Paul, do you hear me? Give me a moment. Call ended. So let's see. This is my yeah. I had to shut off, otherwise I couldn't read all the names of the countries from my post. Yeah, we leave this in. This is live and whatever. So this is Paul, by the way, Paul Strasser. He sits in Vienna. My associate producer Beth sits in Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm here in Miami, as you probably know already, in Miami, in my office. So a lot of people were encouraging me and say it's great. I think it's very good because the videos now are in top quality. I mean, I have them all in good quality. So I mean, just filming that with the iPhone, this is not the solution. The only disadvantage in the moment, but maybe we find a technical solution, is I cannot have live guests like I had the winner of the first trivia contest, as a live guest, or I was actually planning to have more and more of you guys, but we find a solution for that. So this is my thank you to my fans. And from all over the world, I'm just saying thank you for all this encouragement. I feel that I'm doing something which makes people happy, and everybody says that they like the show. But as I was writing in my post, this is not a show. This is me. I'm telling you stories that I experienced, as long as I'm still interested, and as long as I still remember them. Because, it's quite a few decades of rock and roll filmmaking. In fact, I just have a few new projects coming up with very famous groups, but I can't tell you about it so far. But this is me. And, I see it the following way. I have a great life, and I still have a great future, as I'm not finished. If you would know Rudy, I'm not even halfway finished. But so far, I can already look back on quite a few things which worked out, and I'm very thankful. As you might notice, when I write about videos I directed, I always write, with Queen especially, I had the privilege of directing this video, because I felt it was a privilege. It was not, I'm up there and I'm, stronzo, as the Italians would say, or whatever. No. Maybe I was more arrogant when I was younger, but I always felt it's a great chance, and I'm meeting people where I can learn a lot. And now in the last few years, when I was thinking of, what is there left to do for me? I don't have sweaty hands, because I never worked with Bob Dylan, for example, which probably most of you don't even know. But he never did videos, so I mean, I could, or a few other big artists. Yes, there are artists that I would like to work with. For example, Eric Clapton. For example, Celine Dion. But I mean, I did most of the big ones of my time. And I did a lot of the young ones, of the young generation. I mean, this is, by the way, something else which I couldn't do. We do it next Sunday, I hope, if I don't forget. It's exactly which videos for Queen, Freddie Mercury, Brian May, and Roger Taylor I directed or co-directed. Because people are asking me about that. So back to this. I think it's now time to give back. That's why I'm writing the Freddie Mercury book. That's why I'm doing this show, or this Rudy Backstage, which is not a show, but which is the truth. I'm sitting here, by the way, even also because of Corona. I don't have a makeup. I don't have a hairstylist. Yes, I comb my hair. You're coming into my office, like into somebody else's living room, and I'm telling you stories, and I'm answering you questions that you write to me, and next time I even play guitar a little bit, and I show you my work or parts of my work, and I think it's time to give back. What do you think? Write me what you think. You please continue write to me what you think about Rudy Backstage, and also what you think about doing this resume. So, darlings, now we come to a special program point, which I didn't plan on Sunday, which is new. I have discovered, as you know, I have this initiative, Rudy Art. And a lot of you, and this is very, very cool, are encouraged to do things. Some of you are already very talented artists, and they didn't need me to start. I was, saying thank you to the 3 big ladies, 2 in Italy and 1 here in Florida, and you see it on my posts. And but some other people are encouraged that I say do something, or were encouraged, or are encouraged every time again. And one of these artists is my fellow Austrian, Petra Probst. And she was telling me that she, based on some photographs that she did, that I have, she would do some artistic retouching. Now let's look at one of the first photographs. This is of course Freddie Mercury during the I'm Going Slightly Mad, and this is a younger Rudy, but I don't look that different. I mean, I have the hair open, and look what she's done with that. I think this is fabulous. I also posted it, and some of them I post, some of them are only here on Rudi Dolezal's Doro TV. I think that's a great little piece of art in itself. And she also did something on Mick Jagger. This is Mick and myself, actually during the interview for Magic Years. Can you imagine? This was in the late 80s, in the mid 80s actually, Magic Years. This was the first big Queen documentary I did. It was a 3-part documentary. It was actually originally released on VHS, and I think it's a shame that it's not out on DVD or Blu-ray, but it was a best-selling thing all over the world. I was very, very thankful that I could do this. And this is the interview with Mick. As you remember, I was playing I Go Wild, the live video, which is one of the videos that I had the privilege to direct or co-direct for the Rolling Stones. And we also had Keith Richards in there in the program. And now the third one is Sting. This photograph for this piece of art was actually taken in Rio de Janeiro quite some time ago. And because I also want to give you something in the Backstage Resume that's not in my regular Rudy Backstage program, so it makes sense that you watch this as well. I tell you a little story about that. And Paul, you can go back to me now. I was going to Rio with my film team to film Sting. He had agreed to do an interview with me. This photo was actually taken after or during the interview. And we could film 3 songs of his later legendary concert in the Maracanã Stadium in Rio de Janeiro. And I was going there with my team. I remember the cameraman was Hermann Dunzendorfer from Vienna. The sound man, who is actually a follower of mine since a few days, was Herbert Brasch, also from Austria, and a few other people, but that was the main team. And of course, we had local people from Rio. And I don't know if you remember the band Trio, Da Da Da, but the singer of Trio was married to a Brazilian lady who was working for a very big newspaper called Globo, and she was helping us with translating and also with organizing things. So long story short, It is a long story, I warn you, but it's a good story. We were arriving in Rio de Janeiro, and what do you expect when you come to Rio de Janeiro? You expect the sun. We had a hotel room in the nicest hotel the record company was paying, in the Copacabana Palace, which is directly on the Copacabana. So you have a little balcony, and out there in front of you is the Copacabana and the ocean, which is fabulous. So we arrived there, and it's raining. And it's raining, and it's raining, and it's raining for 2 days. So in order to keep the spirit up, on the second day of raining, which was the day before we were actually going to film, we were thinking we filmed some Rio de Janeiro shots or nothing. I mean, who wants to see Rio de Janeiro in pouring rain? So I was inviting the whole team and Sting and parts of his team into a restaurant which is very famous at the time. Nowadays you have it all over the world, but at that time it was only in Rio de Janeiro, as far as I know. They bring big sticks with meat, and they are chopping the meat onto your plate. So we were eating there. I was inviting and everything. I was not drinking a lot, and we're going back, and this was not more away than something like I don't know, a minute or two with the car. But since it was pouring with rain, we didn't walk, but we were going with cars. So we're going back, and I, stupid as I am sometimes, or at least then, said, "Okay, I'm gonna drive. I'm gonna drive." Of course, I had to drive. I mean, I know how to drive. So we're driving, and of course I'm talking and talking and talking, and in front of me a car stops very suddenly, and I also put the brakes, but I touched them a little bit, and you wouldn't, and behind me it makes bam, 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 and cars bump into me, and the next one into that car, into that car, that car. So we have an accident. It's only, no people were hurt, but the car in front of me literally was falling into pieces, because they are all old cars, you know? And this happened exactly in front of a little police station where there are dozens on the Copacabana, because they were also always thinking that, that no crime happens, or when a crime happened, that police are... So it happens in front of them, okay. And then something stupid happened, because we were actually already in front of the hotel. And the policeman says, "Okay, a driver's license." And okay, and I look, "Oh my God, please, I have the driver's license up in my room," I say. "And please wait 5 minutes." And I'm running upstairs, and I'm looking for my driver's license. And I realize, I was just there for the second day, I have forgotten my driver's license in Vienna, Austria. So I was there, and I was driving without a driver's license having on me. So it didn't matter whose fault it was immediately my fault, because I was driving without a license. So Sting and I were arrested, and we were brought into a jail. This is no joke. In the meantime, Simone, I think was her name, the Brazilian lady of trio singer, was calling her father, because they said to us, they were threatening us that I have to stay in jail, because it was a Friday night. Next day, on Saturday, Sting was playing in the Maracanã Stadium. So Friday night, you cannot reach a consulate or an embassy of Austria or anything. You are just lost. So I said, "Oh my God, if I'm overnight here in jail, what about the shoot tomorrow? And what about Sting's concert?" So they were bringing me into a cell. And by now, the father arrived. And I remember I had also, stupid me, all the money which I needed the next day on me, because there was no safe those years in the hotel, and I didn't want to lose that or leave that in the hotel room. So I had something like, I don't know, $3,000 or $4,000 in $100 bills in my pocket. So I thought, well, the only way is that I try to bribe them, that I try to give them money so that I can get out. And but if I take out $5,000 in front of them, I thought, they say, okay, we want to have all the $5,000. So I put the $5,000 in my underpants and took out $300 or $400. And that I had in the pocket. And then the father came and said, come. So for long story shorter, the guy with the car got $200, and each of the two policemen got $100, and I went out. So this is how I spent time, almost a night, with Sting in a jail in Rio de Janeiro. That's, I think, quite nice. So, darlings, this is it, almost. This is our little update. So we had other people to subscribe to this channel, Rudi Dolezal's Doro TV. I need you, I need your friends, I need your friends' friends. Please have them all subscribe. It doesn't cost anything, it's free of charge, and you get great stuff on it, I promise. And it becomes better and better and better and more and more and more. Support me and do this. Number one, because we have now over 1,000 subscribers. The first 1,500 subscribers will get a very special surprise from me. I'm not saying what it is. I will say it next Sunday on Rudi Backstage. But, so it makes sense to be part and be one of the first. And everybody who is already a subscriber, of course, is registered for that. So that's something nice. And the second wish, of course, is please be so kind and pre-order my book. As I told you that we have 3 forms of payment now. The second emails will go out in the next days, and soon. Have patience. There will be 3 ways you can pay the $10 or the €10. In Europe, it's either on a website. Number 2, sending a check to a PO box, which is has a certain name. And number 3, there's a bank account. It will be made very easy. That's why it took a little bit longer, and why the second email is only going out now step by step. And we have a very small team, yeah. And I will not forget anybody. And the last thing, of course, is please, the third of my 3 wishes, never, please never, promise me, never miss a Sunday of my program, Rudi Backstage. Next Sunday again, 2 p.m. in Miami, which is 11 a.m. on the West Coast, Los Angeles, for example, or 8 p.m. in continental Europe, 7 p.m. in London. People are asking me, why is there Rio de Janeiro and not Buenos Aires? Well, as far as I know, it's the same time zone. So I might change it now after on the slate that is always posted. But it means, you know, if you're in the same time zone as the city, that is only meant as an example. It doesn't mean that you can only see it in Rio de Janeiro. It means wherever the time is equal and the same as in Rio de Janeiro, that's the time you should be on my Insta Live. Thank you to all my followers, also on Facebook. I'm doing the live also only on Insta. And I also want to say I hope I see you all. And just again, the subscriber number 1,000 was Michele Molinari. Michele Molinari from Parma, Italy. Thank you so much, darlings. I love you. I hope you like this. This was now a backstage resume with update, trivia, and a few stories. And I count on you when it's next Sunday again, time for Rudi Backstage.
You wanna know what goes on backstage? Oh, come on. Let me take you by the hand. Ow!
Rudy, are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen,
The way I see it, Barry, this should be a very dynamite show.
You know, I have no idea what the name of this program is, but you're watching it.
Backstage.
All you ever want,
Backstage.
all you ever need.
Backstage.
Your dreams will be fulfilled once you are there. You'll never want to leave. You want to sell your ass for that backstage pass. Backstage is just for the invited. Backstage, they've laid on everything